Thank you. Hi, everybody. Nice to see everyone here in our little workshop. Thanks for making it. Thanks for not swapping for the drinks outside and the sunshine. I guess everybody just maybe needed a little bit of a cool space to relax from the sun. But nevertheless, thanks everybody for coming, and hopefully we'll be able to show you some cool stuff, and you guys will learn something new here. So today our workshop is called Creating the Foundation for Building Secure and Efficient Web3 Projects. So my name is Mindaugas. I'm a sales director at Fireblocks. And with me, I have our director of Web3, Omer, who's going to speak in a little bit. Now, Omer's the important guy here today. And the easy way to tell is because he's wearing a Fireblocks t-shirt and I'm not. So this is like a really easy way to distinguish who you should listen to more. But with that, I'm going to take a minute and remind everybody about Fireblocks, who we are and what we do, because I appreciate that not everybody here in this room has worked with us in the past, although I'm pretty sure that probably the vast majority have at least heard about us. And after the workshop, feel free to approach me or Omer. We'd love to chat to you, and we'd love to see if there are ways that we can work together as well. Okay, right. So what's Fireblocks? Just quickly to take you guys back to the beginning. So the idea of Fireblocks started around 2017, 2018. If you guys remember, if you've been in crypto that long, and it is a long time in crypto years, there were a few infamous hacks into South Korean exchanges back then. And our future founders were working in a cybersecurity company, and they were called upon to investigate them. As they were doing their investigation, a couple of things became apparent. So number one was that cyber criminals were increasingly shifting their focus from the traditional space, from the Web2 space, towards the Web3 space. As we all know, because of the nature of blockchain and the immutability, whatever happens on it stays there. And unfortunately, that also applies to crime. So the second thing that naturally came out of it was the realization of the complexity of protecting assets and digital property in the blockchain age. So as well as, of course, the lack of solutions, especially enterprise-grade solutions at the time. So that's how the idea of Fireblocks came about. Now, fast forward to now, we're a market-leading organization with over 1,800 customers. We've secured over $4 trillion worth of transactions and help our customers manage over 90 million wallets. Now, we are a platform for building new blockchain-based projects and helping businesses manage all of their digital asset operations. We cater to anybody, any business, any organization that touches the Web3 economy, whether it's financial use case, crypto hedge fund, trading, crypto exchange, to the real Web3 projects that could be NFT marketplaces, digital collectibles platforms, gaming, real world asset tokenization projects, etc. So if you've got anything to do with blockchain, we're there to help you. And as I said before, that maybe not all of you have worked directly with Fireblocks, but surely indirectly you have interacted with our technology. So as you can see on the bottom, we are trusted by the industry leaders. And if you ever used eToro, for example, or Revolut, then indirectly you've been exposed to Fireblocks and you've used our technology, because this is what they use in the background to secure their digital assets. Okay, so very quickly, this is basically a slide that explains how we go about the business of securing your assets, right? And the most important thing is to make sure that there's no single point of compromise. Again, because if something happens on the blockchain, it stays that way. If you only have a single measure to protect it, that's not enough. That's too risky. So we employ a multi-layer security approach. It consists of three main elements. One of it is secure, as you see on the bottom where it says secure enclaves. This is basically a way to protect the cryptographic material. and the execution of sensitive software from both insiders and hackers. What it actually means is that the cryptographic material is encrypted within the hardware layer of the microchip, and even if somebody manages to gain access to it, the material is encrypted. They still can't extract the information that is your private key or part of your private key. Which takes me to the second layer, which is the MPC-CMP. It's our own version of the multi-party computation, and that deals with the distribution of the private key to make sure that it's decentralized, it's never exposed at once, and it's never in one place. Okay, and then the third layer is our transaction authorization policy, or as we call it here, configurable governance rules. Basically, they are in place to ensure that the assets are protected not only from outsiders, but from insiders as well. So you can create rules that follow your internal compliance rules of your organization, and those rules will govern every interaction that you do with your assets. And they will make sure that if people, employees that are not supposed to do certain things are not able to do those things. So altogether, this is our multi-layer security approach, and this is what we use to make sure that your assets are safe in the blockchain age. Okay, so as I said, Fireblocks is a single platform for your Web3 business, and it allows you to build and manage Web3 applications, games, and experiences. Okay, so customized policies to secure and control your Web3 operations. I mentioned that just a moment ago with our transaction authorization policy. It also allows you to securely manage your treasury and smart contract operations, etc. Now, the second bit is very interesting and very important, and this is what Omer is going to talk about in more detail. It's seamless onboarding experience for Web2 users. Now, we all know that a lot of companies these days have the word Web3 somewhere in their descriptions. Everybody's trying to become Web3. But the problem here is that retail users, they don't really know. They still don't really know what Web3 is. A lot of people don't know what a wallet is, or some people don't even want to know what a wallet is. So what we're trying to do, what we're trying to help you with, is to provide that seamless onboarding so that you can embed Web3 wallets directly into your application, into your project, to create a frictionless experience. So your users can face a Web2 layer, which can be your app or your website, and they don't even need to know what a wallet is. They don't need to create one. Everything is going to be done for them in the background. All right, so and with that, I'm going to hand it over to Omer.
Thank you, Men. Thanks for that intro. Thanks for shielding Fireblocks to everyone. So what I'll try to do is run quickly through what we have, what we see kind of across the board. As you saw, we work with a lot of different companies. Some of the conclusions that we had over how to actually, what are the things and challenges that you have to take care of when starting a Web3 business as it relates to anything that you do on-chain, right? I think we kind of see three main challenges here. One, if you're a Web3 business, most of the times, your revenue comes as a digital asset, right? It might be tokens, it might be your own tokens, cryptocurrencies, ETH, Bitcoin, whatever you accept from, kind of on-chain payment providers. Also, it's fiat, but that's less of our concern. But you always kind of, at the end of the day, if you have a business model that you want to, that is employed on-chain, you get some digital assets. You need to manage that, right? And what types of platforms are out there to help you manage that, right? It might be connecting to exchanges. It might be plugging in your bank account to do like off-ramps, right? Easy off-ramps. It might be, I'm launching this thing. I want it to be listed on some exchange. I need to somehow connect it to an exchange. I need to provide institutions, if like your project is institution-oriented or you have big backers and investors, you need a way for them to actually, without a lot of counterparty risk, to deal with those types of assets. So these are things that we've learned already from the financial space, right? I mean, even if you're not a purely financial, you're not a, I don't know, a DeFi app, or you're not opening an exchange, but you're opening a game. A game has tokens. Those tokens will be worth something. Then if now, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years later, you're sitting on tokens that are worth a lot of money, how is your treasury going to be run, right? Your CFO, your accounting, everything. So basically, it's not, you cannot keep it in your bank account like with the traditional tools. So that's a big part of it, and it really, really much resembles what we see on the financial space. And when we talk about retail wallets, right? So currently, it's another avenue in which you have to employ some sort of a key management solution, right? I mean, most of us start with a bring your own wallet type of thing, but then we see that we're missing a lot of like our target market, because there might be some normal people that don't have a wallet or a MetaMask or a Phantom that actually wants to come into your app because it does something really great, and you don't want to limit yourself to only deal with ones that have wallets. So you need to provide some sort of a white labeled experience for those users to seamlessly kind of onboard into your product, right? So that's kind of the other part of the other pillar. And the third one, which we feel that sometimes is overlooked when we talk a lot about like secure smart contract management, usually everyone means, oh, you need to write the smart contract, you need to audit it correctly, you need to make sure, right, that it runs exactly the way that you want it to run. But what happens after you deploy it, right? I mean, we know that a common practice might not be a best practice, but a common practice is now to do like proxy contracts. So you have a contract that really directs to another smart contract. Who gets to update that, right? I mean, so most of the times what we see is there's like a R&D manager or a VP R&D, that he's the only one within the company that can change something over that smart contract because it's so sensitive to the business, but it's not scalable. Like he's on vacation, he's somewhere else, like, it's tough. Another point to make is that you see a lot of these Web2 consumer brands, right? We look at Adidas and Nike, right? They put something on chain. They have smart contracts that do the token, that do the NFT tokens, and then they are putting their but there's a lot of brand equity built into that smart contract. If that smart contract is compromised, may it be internal or external, they lost a lot of potential revenue over the future, and their brands get tarnished, right? I mean, so we see that a lot, and it's something that while we don't deal specifically with, we'll audit your smart contract, what we'll do, and I'll try to show it, hopefully I have enough time, is how you can actually make it safe by making sure that you have the right operations internally to deal with every type of contract and every type of call to that. So I'll try to show that. And I'm pretty sure you can't see anything here, so hopefully I can share it somewhere. But these are like what I said just in a flowchart, that you have the treasury wallet from one side, and then you have what we call like operation wallets, which deal with the smart contracts and write approvals and signatures and minting and burning. And then you have the retail wallets and how it all kind of flows together. So, treasury, as I've said, you want to exchange it, you want to put it in cold storage, you want to maybe manage payments over that. And then with your operations, which mints tokens also to your treasury and the user wallets and the retail wallets that you want to maybe give access not only to your platform, but other third-party application through like a wallet connect type of experience. So all of that is supported within Fireblocks, but my goal is not to talk so much about Fireblocks, just to give you a sense of like, when you start that business, what are the different aspects that you need to think about as it comes to key management, and key management translated into blockchain terminology is just wallets. So hopefully that's clear. Great. Now let's see how it works. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to put the mic down. Okay. So let's quickly look at this. So what I want to show you here, this is the Fireblocks console. And I want to show you maybe just one of the things I'm using. I don't know if anyone heard of ThirdWeb. It's a really cool company that does like really easy like deployments of smart contracts. So I'll just go, because I'm locked out of something here. I'll show you, this is just a very simple NFT contract that was deployed using our Fireblocks wallet. And then if you see, you can have, like as I've explained earlier, you have a way to set permissions on the smart contract. This is more on the smart contract side. You say, okay, what wallet can manage what type of action? So you have like an admin wallet here and a minter wallet, right? And the way it corresponds then back to Fireblocks is, as you can see, like each one has a different address, which you can put here. So we called it one. There's like an admin vault, right? Which is the address that that is inputted there. And what I can do very easily, I can set up a very simple. This is what Min was talking about on the transaction policy, and then I can edit the policy. This policy is basically looks like a firewall of like what you can and cannot do, who needs to approve what, who needs to sign where, and there are a lot of different parameters there, like how much daily volume are you allowed from that specific wallet. If it goes out of that amount, then maybe you need to escalate that approval. But as you can see, just to give you an example, what I said of smart contract management can actually say, okay, so if I have a contract call that is coming from my admin wallet, because I know this is the one that has like the main privileges over that smart contract, and it goes to that specific smart contract, which I called it third web, okay? Then what I can do is I can say, hey, it needs to be approved by a group or a person, let's say Pavel, which is our VP R&D. So basically, any interaction, any transaction that I send from the admin wallet to that specific smart contract will go through an approval process that involves like the VP R&D. And that negates the internal risks that you have when dealing with these smart contracts. Think about yourself as like a big company already, that every movement, every shift in the smart contract might be destructive to your business, to make sure that you have the right lines of reporting and the right internal operations, right? And currently, again, I'm not saying that it's like inherently bad for small teams, but you know, you have someone probably with a ledger plugging into his computer and then signing these transactions to make sure that, you know, that person is the only one that can do that. Here we're talking on a much more scalable solution that you can say, okay, I need 2 of like 5 team members that are in charge of that to actually approve that transaction and then execute it on chain, right? So if you think about how you do that securely and scalably, this is one of the things that we're seeing within kind of the Web3 space that needs a little bit more, I would say, to be a little bit more visible or to be taken into consideration. So being mindful of time, that we have like 2 minutes and that I can't show the demo, but you can swing by our booth, so I'll try to set it up there. Anyone has any questions for me, for us? So you either understood everything or nothing. That's basically what happens when there's like nothing raising his hand. But I mean, just make sure, like, come talk to us. We're happy to share our dubious knowledge of this, and yeah, happy to help and get you started. And I think that's about it. Yeah, thank you.